I just structure my bets where it's, if I pay 120 Rand, it's 20 wins, 100 places.
Yeah.
And so if it wins, it's a bonus.
Yes.
So the Royal Victory, I didn't actually expect him to really win. So it was a massive bonus when he won. Yeah.
Welcome to another edition of In the Box Seat. We got rid of Len Ferner. He's swanning it around at the Met in Cape Town. He's left all his tools behind so no one can get hold of him. Nice boy. But with me I've got Dave Thiselton, chief writer at Gold Circle, editor of Tiff Talk, a man well known in racing, but now you can put a face to the byline. Dave, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Andrew.
Dave, you've been in the game a long time.
Yeah. Well, I've been a fan for a long time. I've been in the industry for, I think, 17 years or so. But my first memory of horse racing was actually when I was must have been about 7 or 8 years old. And my parents gave me and my brother the newspaper.
Yeah.
And said, no, there's this race called the July, and could you try and choose the winner as the paper? And they had those sort of strip pictures.
Those days, the newspapers were big on racing. Yeah.
So I just chose the horse that was winning all the pictures, and that was Mazarin. And my brother chose Home Truth, and they finished first and second. So that was where I sort of got hooked. That was the first. Yeah. I often wonder if my brother had chosen the winner, whether he would have been the victim of racing.
Dave, you went to school at Kearsney?
Yeah.
And your father let you, who was a master at Kearsney, wasn't he?
Yes.
And he let you follow racing?
No, my interest in racing increased because Peter Gibson is my cousin.
Peter's your cousin, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then Ian, his father, my uncle Ian, him and Stuart Ferry's father, Scotch Ferry.
Yeah.
My father, Ian, and Scotch all taught at Maritzburg College in the beginning.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so Ian and Scotch and Doug Campbell bought a horse called Silver Sovereign that they owned, and Henny could see it trained at Somerveld. So I used to go with Ian and Pete to come and visit the horse.
Okay.
And then I remember with the newspaper coverage then, and also listening to the radio commentaries.
So it used to be on your radio Port Natal.
Yeah, so racing was so big.
Yeah.
And when you would come to the track and actually see one of the horses that you were listening about, it was almost like seeing a film star. It was like really fascinated me. Yeah. And then also just the talk, because we used to go to Henny's house after watching the horse. And then Ian and him would just talk about racing, and I found that really fascinating.
Henny could see was Felix's father.
Yeah, funnily enough, my first ever race meeting coincided with Felix's first ever winner.
Okay.
So I went to a gym because this horse, Silver Sovereign, it wasn't too good, and it was favoured a few times, but never won a race in the professional circuit. And I think in those days, if you reached at the end of your 4-year-old, if you were still a maiden, you weren't allowed.
That's right, you weren't allowed to race anymore.
Yeah, you had to either go to PE, but anyway, Doug took the horse on and trained it for the Gymkhana meetings.
Yeah, at Richmond.
Yeah, so we went to a meeting there, and at that same meeting, Felix rode a quarter horse. So he was just a young lad then.
Yeah.
But that was his first ever winner. But I just remember this horse thundering down the track,
Cole, good luck next time.
This horse is thundering down the track, and Felix's shirt had come out of his
Breaches, yeah.
yeah, and it was flailing behind him like a sail. So I have a vivid memory of that, and I think that moment was where I really became hooked on racing.
I remember Ian, your uncle Ian Gibson, he collared me at Scottsville the other day because I didn't tip the horse Beecham Wood Boy. He said, you left it out of your selections. Do you think it's got no chance? I said, well, Mr. Gibson, I'm not quite sure what went wrong with it. And won.
Yeah, he's had some good horses, and I think Beecham Wood Boy is one of his better ones.
Yeah. So Dave, after school and all that, you went to the UK. What did you studied IT?
No, well, I actually studied journalism at Rhodes, but then after, I didn't actually, I changed courses after a year.
Wise boy,
yeah. And actually, then we had to do the 2 years army.
Yeah.
But I was a July intake. So when I came out in July, I didn't really know what I was going to do, but they offered this course, this RT course for army leavers for free. So they gave us a free course in programming. Okay. And actually from that course I got placed as a programmer in Joburg. I was a computer programmer
for the army?
Not for the army.
Oh, not for the army.
No, the army just
facilitated
funded the course, and it was a normal. Well, I ended up working for a company in Joburg.
Okay.
So I was a programmer for about 15 years, but it's really not suited to it at all. So I'm more of an artistic mind.
Yeah.
But my time in Joburg coincided with a really great era in racing. So it was Pierre Stratum. It just arrived on the half-out there.
Was it Gerald Turner?
No, I think he was. He might have been ending his career then.
Okay.
The Wai Chong Mawing also was just starting then.
Starting then, yeah.
So,
what are the horses at that time?
Well,
that was 19.
Yeah, so I bought a good camera with one of my early salaries.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy photography, and I didn't know you were allowed to take it onto the course.
Yeah.
One of my early memories of Joburg was I was standing on the rail when Divine Act made his debut.
Okay.
So he won by like 15 lengths or something. But I had the picture of this horse, this with the others looking like little ants in the background.
Was Divine Act? I'm trying to work out that. Remember, there was a match race with Brain Teaser. Was it Divine Act?
Yeah, Cliffy Otto trained him, and Mark Azzi trained Brain Teaser.
Brain Teaser, okay.
So at the next meeting, then they arranged the match race.
Yes.
Because Brain Teaser was also looked like a superstar.
Quicker, yeah.
So I went to the match race, and I remember in the morning of that I was staying with my brother and his wife in Joburg there. So I just moved house or something. But I said to them as I left, if I win the Pick Six today, I'll take you out for dinner. That was the day that Pierre Stratum rode the Pick Six.
Okay.
I think it paid about 30 rand.
So it was a costly dinner, yeah.
An interesting trivia question about that Pick Six would be, has a jockey ever ridden the winner of 6 successive carded races in South Africa?
Yeah.
And it would have to be yes, because he rode the Pick Six, but it was actually no, because that day carded in the middle of the Pick Six was the match race.
The match race, yeah.
And he lost the match race on
Brain Teaser.
He was on Brain Teaser.
Okay.
But I thought Divine Act was a good thing.
Yeah,
and he was actually the second favourite.
Yeah. Cliffy Otto had a strange way of training because he didn't have too many horses.
Yeah.
And I remember he used to race them on his bucky. He said if they could hit 40 k's an hour and go for so long, then they were really to win.
The other memory of Divine Act is he had an extreme parrot mouth.
Yes.
So the overbite was like really noticeable.
Yeah. So Dave, after that, you got tired of IT. You went to UK.
So I was working for this British company actually in Joburg. It was a subsidiary of a British company, and then I went over. I decided to go over for a travel sort of stint. But I worked a little bit for the British firm there.
Okay.
We weren't actually allowed to work then. On our South African.
You like the Greek boards?
Yeah. We had to make like sometimes these false documents and things. So I spent about a year there and just messing around, traveling, and I used to go to the races then. So I was actually there when Mace won his first British Classic, the 2,000 guineas on Mystica. I had a great picture of Lester Piggott taken on that day that sort of hangs on my office wall.
I know, I remember someone was your old house they were selling or something like that, and he said, "Do you know David Thiselton?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, he's got a big picture of Lester Piggott hanging on his wall." So I presume he was part of your racing,
Yeah.
So, but then you went to all those meetings. You went to Cheltenham. Cheltenham was.
Yeah. So I went to the Derby. I saw Generous winning. It's one of the great Derby winners. I took a picture of him. That was a mistake I made. Was instead of appreciating him coming past, I tried to get a picture of him.
Yeah.
And in the picture, you just see the little nose there. So, I backed the horse called Marjorie, which came second.
Yeah.
But Generous came. They used to say fourth in the Guineas, first in the Derby. And he was one of those horses. He was pretty unknown.
Yeah.
And then he won the Derby by lengths. And
we had those green colours. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Not the Aga Khan. No. I just remember green colours.
Could have been.
Yeah. And then after the UK, you came to you went to Taiwan.
And I came back and worked for the same company, and then I went back to the UK for a more formal stint, which was proper working for this British company. So that was when we became part of the Commonwealth again.
Okay.
So I got a proper visa and I
we weren't cheating anymore. Yeah?
So I worked there for 4 years in RT. And
so you were there for quite a long time.
5 years altogether.
Yeah.
So Peter Gibson was there at the same time as me in the second stint.
Oh, okay.
So the racing was really
twins,
the racing was really big then. We used to go to Cheltenham. We saw the great Mr. Buck.
Okay.
So he's probably regarded as the greatest hurdler of all time.
Yeah.
So I think he won the champion hurdle 3 times.
Yeah.
No, we had some good stories.
Yeah, I just remember those. I used to get the old, what was it called, the Racing something?
Racing Post.
No, it wasn't the Racing
Sporting
Post.
Life.
It was a magazine. And I remember Desert Orchid was my horse at the time.
Yeah, we. That's a funny story of mine because I went to watch Desert Orchid in my first stint.
Okay.
So this is going to be a big thing. We saved up a bit of money because it's quite expensive to get into the. Anyway, when we arrived, he was racing at Sandown that day. We arrived at this little drop-off point for the station on the back straight of Sandown.
Yeah.
So you walk down this little alleyway. And then when we were walking, we saw this guy with this cardboard box and these 3 cards. And so we watched it for a bit, and we figured out you had to choose where the Queen of Spades was. So, as we were watching, one of the guys who's punting, because the punters are like winning and losing, and one of the guys who's punting said to the dealer, I think the cops are coming. Anyway, the dealer turned around like this, and as he turned around, this guy grabbed the Queen of Spades, and he put a little bend in it and put it down and went to us. So anyway, the guy then picks the cards up, as dealer, and he just throws them down, like he just didn't even look. And then there's this like card with a bend sitting there. So we took all our money out, because we were just battling travellers, and put it on. And he turned it over to the Queen of Hearts.
So you'd done your cash before you even got onto the
And then we realised, like, obviously the punter was in on the whole thing. And anyway, my friend was quite quick thinking, and he called the guy over and said, no, we've got some foreign currency we can bet with, but we just want to see if we can win first. So could you put 20 quid on for us? So he put 20 quid and won and gave it to us. And we said thanks. And so we at least managed to get into the course. And Desert Orchid is getting a bit old then.
Yeah.
So there was this 2-mile chase, and he actually came last out of 5 that day. But then he won the King George for the 4th time about a month later. It's an amazing horse.
Yes. So you came back to South Africa and, after that, and then you went to Taiwan.
Yeah, so I came back to South Africa. I was in RT again. And then there was a corporate sort of takeover of the department I worked for was taken over by another company. And then I lost my position. And so I didn't know what to do then, and I just saw one day this advert, teach English in Taiwan. I phoned them, and 2 weeks later I was there. I actually had one lesson. I had to go and watch this other guy teaching.
Yeah.
And then on the Monday after that, he gave me a scooter and said, here are your schools. So I said, well, what must I do? He said, no, you've got to go and teach at these schools.
So how long were you there for?
2.5 years.
Gee, that's a long time. You learned to use chopsticks then.
Yeah. The language is very difficult. But this is quite a good laugh there. Yeah.
And then you came back to South Africa.
Yeah.
And you joined Gold Circle.
Yeah. I came back, and it was just when the race go started.
Yeah.
So they were looking for writers. So Peter Gibson organised an interview with Praveen Naidu for me. And so I'd always had a aptitude for writing, and obviously a big racing fan. So they thought I was suitable for the job.
Yeah.
So.
That was the time, I mean, when independent newspapers outsourced all their racing to Gold Circle.
Yeah.
Because there was Chad Cook and Praveen Naidu organised that.
Okay, yeah.
So it was quite a thing there. But you were there at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was looking at you. 8 years later, Chad gave up and I got the job. Because I was looking on your profile on LinkedIn. You started 8 years before me.
No, I remember it was only 3 months later.
That was 3 months later. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I started in 2006.
Okay.
Didn't you also start then?
I can't remember.
I remember just after 2 or 3 months you arrived there.
Yeah, okay. Not 8 years.
Yeah.
My memory's going. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then we sort of changed around because you were writing UK racing at that time, and then we slowly got rid of UK and rode local.
Yeah.
So
It's,
you've been there ever since?
Yeah.
No, because you're doing a bloody fine job as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, thanks.
It's extremely difficult to source copy every day,
Yeah.
different copy, topical stuff.
Yeah.
It's not easy. How do you manage it?
Well, you just got to look at the relevant topics, the topical stuff, and then find the relevant people.
I suppose it becomes a bit of a habit, but it's still...
Yeah, but it's not always easy finding people because...
Yeah, I know. You never know what reaction you're going to get.
Yeah, it's actually best if you see them face to face.
Yeah.
But and then you can just chat with the cell phone. I've learned how to record the phone calls, so that's a big thing now.
Yeah, I wondered how you got all
Yeah.
your quotes right. I thought you got a good memory.
Yeah, so that makes a big difference.
Yeah. But in your time, you've won 2 Equus awards, which is quite a feather in your cap.
3
Journalist
actually.
of the Year. 3 you won.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit like quite a small field, I think, really.
it's still people know who David Thiselton is. You're a Journalist of the Year.
Okay.
No, but that's great.
Yeah.
But you like a good punt.
Yeah.
And I know you always, the July and the Met and the Summer Cup, you start doing
I must just go back to my army days. After your 2 years, you had to do the camps.
Yeah.
And I ended up at Richmond camp as a driver. I had to drive the buffel.
Yeah.
But the chef there was none other than Nathan Cotson.
Is that why you stopped him?
So we just used to talk racing the whole day, and I think he used to go and ride at Doug's place sometimes. But that's why I just mentioned him because one of my 2 daughters have just gone to new schools this year.
Okay.
But I must thank Nathan and Royal Victory for paying for their clothes and their stationery and all that. Because I couldn't believe it when I saw Royal Victory at 80-1 for the Summer Cup. And that was even after because I remember writing. It's very unusual to see in a feature race a horse coming from last at Gravel and winning. And he was going top weight. So that was in the Michaelmas, I think it was.
Michaelmas, yeah.
And I remember writing in the paper actually that he's a special horse. And it was the first time he had gone beyond 1800 and stayed all the way to the line.
Yeah. But he showed good form as a
so then I was, the one time when he won at Turfentine, he looked like a superstar.
Yeah.
And then he was only just off them in the big races, the Triple Crowns.
I
was just looking through the Summer Cup one day and going down, and then I saw Royal Victory 80-1. I couldn't understand it. I thought maybe he's a doubtful runner or something. So I tried to phone Nathan just to confirm he was running, but he didn't answer. So I phoned the owner, Peter Victor.
Yeah.
And he told me no, he's definitely running, and he said those bookies are smoking something or something. Well, I can't remember what term he used, but he said he couldn't believe the price either.
Yeah.
And he said he's a big runner.
Yeah, I'm not a punter, but I also saw it. I thought, geez, this is any price. I mean, this has got to have a big chance. I think it was 40-1 when I saw it. But as usual, I didn't bother.
I'm usually mainly a place punter.
Yeah.
Because I can't handle the long runs of losses if you bet on the nose.
Yeah.
No, I just think that there's so much that can go wrong in a race that it's very hard to back winners. But if you've got a horse that's the right horse, it should run a place at least. But obviously you're not going to go and punt the favourites for places, so I've got to look for a bit of value.
I know Eric Denman told me before, he said he backs for places.
Is that?
He says when they're paying like £2.30, he says the bank doesn't give you 200% on your investment. And you just got to be patient.
Yeah, I just structure my bets where it's, so if I pay 120 Rand, it's 20 wins, 100 places.
Yeah.
And so if it wins, it's a bonus.
Yes.
So the Royal Victory, I didn't actually expect him to really win. So it was a massive bonus when he won. Yeah.
No, that's great. Dave, have you owned any horses?
Yeah, and the first one also was called Petit Joie. I can't remember who she was by. But, John, well, first she was with Diane Stinger.
And Foxy.
And then Diane, I can't remember, but we had to move the horse. And I phoned John Fox and asked if he would take her, and John Fox trained her.
Okay.
And she wasn't too good, but she ran her fourth once, and then at Gravel one day, paying 15 Rand a place, she ran second.
Were you on?
Yeah. Yeah.
That helps.
And that's the best finish I've ever had of a horse I've owned. Second.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't own any in the moment now? No.
No,
You've got to pay school fees.
I owned a couple with Bart Rice.
Okay.
And Wendy Whitehead. We had a beautiful horse called Chang Jiang. So it looked really, it was a pretty horse with white socks, and they had a breathing issue.
Oh, jeez.
So it became a good showing horse later.
Okay.
And then Bart Rice, we had a horse that the rugby playing guy bred, what's his name again? The All Black rugby player.
Oh, Alan Sutherland?
Yeah, so he leased us a horse.
Okay.
And ran a couple of thirds.
Okay, so Bart was at Ashburton at that stage.
Yeah.
What's he now? He's now in Korea.
Yeah.
He's doing quite well.
Yeah.
Dave, the best horses that you've ever seen?
Well, I was there when Horse Chestnut won the Met.
Okay.
So I think he's the best horse I've probably seen, but I say that the race where I thought this horse is a world class racehorse was the Derby. I wasn't there, but the way he just looked as if he was cantering.
Which horse was that?
Horse Chestnut.
Horse Chestnut, okay.
So in his Derby, when he actually just looked as if he was cantering, but he just went further and further ahead. And I thought that day that I was really looking forward to him him taking on the world, because I thought
I think he was the first 3-year-old to win for about 52 years or something.
The Met. Yeah, he was. I think the first since it was some astronomical.
Yeah. That's why I went against him like an idiot. I thought there was a 3-year-old with the Met. 50 years. Nah.
But I think one of my favourite horses was the Model Man.
Yeah, Pat Lane.
So I was there that one day when he ran in a 1200 metre race at Gravel, and he was up against a really good sprinter. I think it was called Bold West or something.
Yeah, Bold West. Yeah, that was Herman Brown. Yeah.
So Model Man was probably just having a prep. He is mile and middle distance horse, but he had about 10 lengths to make up on the top of the straight on this Bold West. And then that massive strider was just started like eating up the ground.
Yeah.
It was an unbelievable sight to see.
Bold West was she was a brute of a filly. And
then,
overseas?
well, Generous, probably the
Generous,
best
the best,
I saw, and so I saw. When I worked for Gold Circle, I used to go over for the Cheltenham Festival for about 3 years in a row. I think.
Yeah.
So I saw Cato Star. It's one of the best chases ever. Which other? When I went in the Ark, I saw Paint Celeb. I've got an interesting story about the Ark, really, because Peter Gibson got engaged that weekend.
Okay.
So we were living in England, and he said, "No, me and Tracy are going over to the Ark. And we are going on Friday." So I said, "No, can I come with you then?" And he said, well, I was going to go also, but he said, "So should I come with you on the Friday?" And they said, no, you can't. So I was a bit put out, really. But anyway, the reason was because he was going to propose.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
So when I arrived there on the train, I met them on the train. Peter held Tracy's hand and went like this. And I thought he was showing me the watch. So I just said, "Oh, that's nice." So they were a bit upset. I couldn't understand why they were upset with me the whole day. And then I realised later they'd got engaged. But that's typical of Pete to revolve an important occasion around a horse race. So he backed Paint Celeb. And one of my favourite horses ever when I was in the UK was Pulsadsky. So you'll see I still use that nickname for when I entered competitions. My pseudo name is Pulsadsky.
Okay, so now you've left the secret out.
Yeah, so that's named after that horse, which it won numerous grade ones and group ones, and it came second in the Ark. When the time I went there.
Dave, coming to the end now, we got the Met on Saturday.
Okay,
Do you see it again?
I think the one horse is quite interesting. Carl Medium pointed out that did you know who had the best sectionals in the straight in the Queen's Plate, in the King's Plate, Ormeron's King's Plate? It wasn't Charles Dickens.
Let's see it again.
No, it was Royal Aussie.
Royal Aussie.
Also, he's a very interesting runner in the Met.
Okay.
But he looks more like a miler though.
Yeah.
But he has got Zabeel as his dam side, so that brings a bit of stamina.
Yeah.
But if he stays, I think he's the one horse who
Much in a good place.
be the dark horse.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it looks more. I think everyone's saying it's a one horse race.
Well, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
Structure's different class. Yeah. Different
you see, his timing is still absolutely immaculate.
He's just got it. It could be actually be quite sad when he hangs up his boots, but he's nearly as old as you now, isn't he? No, the last, we didn't crack the Met, not this year. But I hope it's changed now that this is a bit sort of controversial, but in the last few years the Met's just been a fashion show with horses in them as a background. I mean, when J&B used to sponsor it, it started off as a horse racing with fashion and as a side show, and by the time they finished it was fashion with horse racing as a backdrop. And I remember the last Met I went to, they had Usain Bolt. Everybody was Usain Bolt, and they walked into the parade ring for the Met, and there was Usain Bolt. And there's poor old Lester Pickett, probably the greatest jockey the world has ever seen, sitting all by himself under a tree. I thought, Jesus, what a disgrace. And I just wish my cell phone was bloody useless. It was still useless, but I took a picture, and I thought, man, that's just not on it. But anyway, hopefully it's changed. Hollywood and and Kenilworth Racing have taken it over. It's a brilliant
I
car.
remember when Guard Circle used to, when Guard Circle used to own Cape Town. They used to send me down on the Friday, the week before the Met, and then I'd spend the whole week going to the training centres, and so I think that was a worthwhile exercise.
No, it was definitely. They want publicity.
Yeah. If as a journalist you just go for the day, it's you end up actually just sitting at your laptop at the race meeting, and you can maybe even pick up more if you just watching TV at home or whatever. It's nice to be there with the atmosphere, and then the aftermath and all that.
Yeah. I'm sure it's changed now. It was the last time they stuck us in a little back room. No air conditioning. And it was. But mind you, I wasn't very well. I was sick as a dog that day anyway, so it didn't help. Dave, anything to add? Turf Talk editor. The bloody coffee comes through 1 o'clock in the morning. Do you sleep at all?
It's actually quite suitable because I don't sleep too well generally, and then so doing that at nights, then I'm tired enough to then get.
But you're one of those power nappers, aren't you?
I do a bit of power napping. Even if I'm driving long distance, I think get a bit tired.
I remember the time we were waiting for you at Summerhill, one of their dudes there. Where's Dave? Dave was skipping on the side of the road.
It's amazing. You just sleep for 5 minutes and you wake up, you think you've been sleeping for an hour or whatever, but it recharges.
It's a bit of an art form to actually do it. You wake up after half an hour and want to kill people. Dave, thanks very much for coming on.
No, thanks,
it's been
Andrew.
a pleasure interviewing you.
Okay, thanks.
Just have to get hold of some people jumping up and down here because he said I might forget. Tab Gold, we're looking at soccer 6, or score 6, score 10, soccer bets. Do you like soccer? My team's QPR, so they're not. They're coming bottom of the. Mine's Bolton. I think they're bottom of the 4th division now.
Well, so the team that's impressed me of the few games I watched this season is Aston Villa. I think they play like really nice football.
I must have. I don't watch too much. Then we've got the Greyhounds. You watch the Greyhounds? GTV. It's actually quite interesting to watch the Greyhounds.
I used to love greyhound racing in England.
It's interesting. And then we got Card Call. What's that? Every 10 minutes, every hour you can have a bit. Red or black, aces of spades, whatever. I've never quite worked it out.
Okay.
But so go to Tab Gold, all those bets are online. Keep it going so you can have a bet on the horses, and then in between have a bet on the soccer or the greyhounds or Card Call. That's a wrap from me. I hope Len Furner enjoys Cape Town. We'll give him a time when he comes back on Thursday.
I only agreed to come on here if you and Warren also have a.
No, I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out. Never again. Never. Thanks, Dave.
Okay,
have
thanks.
a good one.
Thanks, Andrew.
And
thanks.
we'll enjoy the Met on Saturday. There's also there's a yearling sale today, but it's a bit late for us for this show, so we laughed that off.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of In the Box Seat podcast right until the very end. And we hope that you enjoyed it, because we certainly did. If you missed last week's podcast, In the Box Seat podcast with Andrew and myself, please go and watch it here. And last week's episode will be right there for you to go and enjoy and watch, as we know you will certainly enjoy In the Box Seat podcast from last week.